All right, hello. Today we're going to be talking about a very complicated subject that is being delegated by an authority that has failed us. And that authority is our fathers. Now, our fathers have a lot of responsibility, especially when they hook up with a woman that expects to be provided for. Sadly, the husband gets very resentful, so he calls her a whore, so she wants to get a divorce. But the responsibility of the fathers is this, okay, and this, being linked to your children. And if one of those is slightly off, you can better believe it. Your wife, or mother or girlfriend, if they even care, is going to try to what? Devastate your ego and tell you that you are creating a fatherless America. Now, a lot of people are being confronted by this topic because it is an urgent social problem that remains. When you talk about fatherlessness, you're not talking just about kids. You're talking about a society that has a lost idea of what a role model or a man's supposed to be. And that man's supposed to be not an unnecessary father, but a father with purpose, old or new traditions. And we know a father based on what? Being a sperm donor? Hopefully more than that. We know him by being a man of his word. That when the connection that he has with his wife begins to disintegrate, that starts to mindfuck the children and can create mental illness in the lifestyle and the options they choose on what they believe is going to be their meaning as a man. They become maybe more physically intimidating because they can't talk. I have to put on my dentures. I can barely speak. They think they need to put on muscles and show that they're the alpha male, to show them that being a man is shedding your blood, being a man is having a money hard-on and making money and being a capitalist. When at the same time, your son wants to commit suicide because you are absent. Absent from what? Him? Absent from loving the mother the way the mother wants to be loved. But the father is the breadwinner. So without knowing any better, the children and the mother better shut the fuck up, or what? That's right. Domestic violence. Because the father knows more than anybody else in the household that it's a pain in the ass to get up in the morning to make money in a diminishing American society of what? Betrayal of family. This is going to be the anchor in your masculinity, your psychological masculinity, is that you understand this. And the increasingly acceptance of this for your own glorification is not for your social role in society, but is for you to be an example for those that don't have the access of a mother or father because of child poverty and economic insecurity, or being food insecure, not knowing if they're going to have enough food to eat. The careful review, put in dentures, I can barely speak. The careful review here is that you acknowledge with me the kingdom of the fatherless. When you have fatherless, you have men that have liberty. The pursuit of justice and happiness, right? You have the ideal of national identity. If we can keep our fathers away from the wives and the kids and make sure they are thrown into affairs and they're hooking up with hustlers and whores, then we can prove that democracy works. It's a free world. That's the kingdom of the fatherlessness, and that is the pigeonhole in understanding strength and weakness of American filthy politics. There is sexual jealousy among women when they see men are happily married to their wives. There is an organization already set up to dress well, to pursue the best awards, to get the most never married fathers to fall for you, so you can use them to determine if you want to keep them around because of this. So the problem is not only that the fatherless man in American society is proving that he is independent and justice for all and he can live his bliss, but it's also it's called in art, it's called the virgin whore. She has to be a virgin at home for him, right? Or she gets raped, or she gets fucked over, or beaten the shit out of. This is still happening. Marital rape is very popular among Mormons and Christians. So she thinks of herself as a virgin because she's celibate for him, but he's allowed to play. So he's such a filthy, dirty mind as it begins with, so he treats her as the virgin whore. She's virgin, but she's also his cultural whore. This is the deadbeat of a not so potentially obtainable child support nation under God. This is why I'm hard on the Christians. You have to embrace the idea of a better divorce, because divorce is inevitable, children, and divorce really causes a lot of heartache for the son, and the son will choose ways to show his own power. So with that little bit of talk, I would like all men to think really on how children are affected more by the way a family restructures itself when there's a new wife involved. Which to save us from argument, the new wife and her kids gets the father of the children off of herself. So the children are betrayed. This is why I say Hail Lucifer. This is why I say Satan rules. I'm not a Satan worshipper. But for the center of the heart, and a productive heart starts at the home. Love, charity begins in the home. When you have all this great independence, and you can do anything you want because you're American, you're allowed, you are permitted, you are encouraged by America to betray the family. The topic today is the betrayal of family, and taking the advanced moral discourse that we must take as men and look at the dilemma and the valuable source it provides us men, because we have what? You're right. Money hard-ons. And that's what pulls us away from our wife. That's what pulls us away from our family, our nuclear orientation family. And to build and restructure a new family with our rights as men to be with other women. This defeats men in their psychological masculinity as sons. This creates a loss of psychological masculinity that must be investigated. You want to say, oh, the American people are hurting. They feel cheated. They feel lied to. You know why? It's not because of the fatherlessness or the female whores. It's because of American politics. I've said it. Confronting our most urgent social problems. Lying to ourselves and saying there is no problem. Just because you have a salary and you have employment and education and you're buying a house, you think there's no problem? You're wrong. You're the one who's mentally ill and you're living in delusional thoughts of grandeur. Stop and take a look at the heart of your country and what you permit. You've permitted it, America. And it's time, through Social Alchemy Project, to change this problem. So don't be a pussy, don't be a coward, and don't be afraid to admit that you believed the lie of fatherhood. You believed the lie of motherhood. To protect you, there's no protection. It's all based on the culture of rape politics.